First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashem Rakag Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And to include, if I didn't mention, the elder bishops as well, and overall to you Akim out there that is sincere of the hopeful elect, as well as we believe that we are. And it's your brother Laban. And what I want to do is I want to briefly give my take on this video. This individual here, we've met this guy before about 10 years ago, and this guy just likes to debate, and he likes to stir up a crowd as well at the same time. And this individual went to Speaker's Corner. He's one of those kind of guys that just likes to debate. He doesn't care about hearing the truth or none of that stuff. His whole thing is about just debating, and that's what makes his day. That's what basically, excites him. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what I'm also guessing as well, and this is another thing that I want to talk about. I want to talk about how these guys, I think they purposely moved over there to bother these people because, I used to live around here a while back ago. Just on a brief. And, the Muslims have been around here for a while. This is basically their area, Shepherd's Bush, right around the White City area. This is where they dwell. This is their stomping grounds, have you will. And, as you can see, these guys have been here probably like for a while. Because, they couldn't have just got there with all of this heavy equipment, late. Looks to be about maybe, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. So IUIC, right? The way IUIC works is it's a lot, guy. I didn't mean to do that. The way IUIC operates is okay. Yeah, you got guys in IUIC that is sincere. You got men in IUIC that may very well know the precepts. They're schooled in that area, but as well as they're not applying these precepts, because one thing about IUIC that we've observed throughout the years is that they are a gimmicky camp. And because they're a gimmicky camp, they'll allow things like debates and do all that kind of stuff. You got the Bishop Nathaniel, he's doing interviews all over the place. And it's really to do with the fact that they want to make a name for themselves. They want to build on top of what they already are. And that's what it's about. It's not really about building on Yahweh Shai and glorifying their Father in heaven. It's about their own glorification. So if they can do debates, bother people, just like, for example, they went to the Christian churches and bothered them, and we saw what the aftermath of that was about. They got into a scuffle and all that, And, okay, cool. I'll confess, look, man, like, there were moments and times years ago, though, that we did do debates. But one thing's for sure, what I will say, though, as well, is that we didn't put ourselves in situations to debate anybody. All right? These debaters came up to us. And if we did put ourselves in that setting, then we've repented off of that a while back ago. Because we know, according to the scriptures, it's about one thing and one thing only. It's about giving our people the wake-up call that they have to repent and return from their evil ways before Yahweh Shai makes a second return. That's what it's about. All right? All of this debating and trying to build a name for yourself, it's irrelevant. Let me use another word. It's frivolous. It's childish behavior, man. All right? This is childishness. Let's read this. This is Job 15 and verse 1. The point is in verse 3. Then answered Eliphaz the Temanite and said, should a wise man utter vain knowledge and fill his belly with the east wind? Should he reason with unprofitable talk, or with speeches whereof he can do no good? Absolutely not. That's the answer to that question, right? And just by looking at these guys, I can tell that these guys are probably in their the mid-20s. And on top of that, these guys are just basically, proselytes. They're just new guys that came in, and they lack the experience. And when you lack the experience and you got all of this energy inside of you, You want to do too much to prove a point, to build a reputation, to include. But when you really check it out, it's just like I said, it's redundant, man. It's redundant. Been there, done that, man. And I mean, listen, we ain't woke up nobody through no debates. All right. That's the usual thing. You don't wake up people debating people. All right. There's either one person is listening and observing what you're saying, absorbing everything that you're saying, and he takes it on board. Not do these debates, these disputations. All right. It's about you waking up the elect. That's what it's about. And if they're none of the elect and they can't get it, then you gotta let them live, man, until the Lord destroys them. So anyway, I want to read this as well. This is Romans 1 and verse 29. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, and whisperers. And this is what Jake was doing while in Rome. All right. And you did have debate centers among Jake in ancient Rome, as well as you did in where Paul was at in Greece. He was in Athens, Greece. He came to a town where you had disputations among the Jews and devout people that were there. You had all kinds of people that were there. And it's kind of like how you have it today in Harlem. You got these niggas that will get together with all of these various doctrines, and they'll debate. One will say he's Kemetic signs, another will say he's a Muslim. And then before, these stage debaters will give warning that, look, oh yeah, such and such is going to debate such and such. Right? These host preparers of debates, they'll host a debate before the debate is actually had, just so you can watch it and be entertained. So this is what you had during the time of the Apostle Paul when he went to Athens, Greece, as this reads, right? Paul at Athens. Now, while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred up in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Therefore disputed he in the synagogues with the Jews and with devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him. So when Paul was disputing with them, he wasn't disputing with them like how they was disputing, just to wage disputes. He was actually sincere. Okay. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him, and some said, what will this babbler say? Others, some he seemed to be a setter forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Yahushua and the resurrection. So that's all I'm going to read from that point. So yeah, he went over there. Salakia. Let me read some more. In Acts 17 and 19, and they took him, because the point is in verse 22, which I forgot. Salakia about that. And they took him and brought him unto Arabicus, saying, may we know what this new doctrine whereof thou speakest? For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know, therefore, what these things mean. For all of the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else, but either to tell or to hear some new thing. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. Right, and they were superstitious in the wrong sense. Let's look up this word superstitious. Superstitious, excuse me. Let's go down here, which is diamond, something like that, which reminiscent of the word demon.
G1174, Dicedaimon.
Yeah, reverencing God, all the gods, pious, religious in a bad sense, superstitious. Yeah, so Mars Hill was just about a place where you would get together and have these disputes and all of that stuff, man. And it was just based on disputations and stuff. And that's what it was really all about.